Drinking sangria, nachos, lemon heads, my dad's boat. You won't go down cause my dick can float. We sail around the world and go port to port. Every time I come, I produce a quart. Put on your life vest, let's drop anchor. There's a nice lady who I like to spank her. Boats and hoes, I gotta have me my boats and hoes. Boats and hoes, I gotta have me my boats.
All right, welcome back again to the Old Man Show. I am Steve from Providence, joined by the great TJ Hubbard. TJ.
Hey, we're all into quarantine, apparently. Everything's ending.
Absolutely. Big coronavirus news coming out today. Everything is shut down on the planet. Not allowed. Can't leave your house. Can't go to school. Can't learn.
Nope.
For a lot of places, April vacation got brought to March, and there's no more April vacation. They're going to reevaluate after a week. Does that have any effect on you and your family?
I have to wear this chest protector now. That's the CDC says you have to wear a chest protector. That way it prevents from the flu. Also, these helmets, it's nice. So when you spit, you don't spray it on people when you talk. I have that kind of a bit of that problem. So
that's very considerate of you.
Yeah, I don't want to spit on anybody, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for myself, I got 2 kids. Jesus Christ.
All right, enough of the corona.
So as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. I got 2 kids, and they're out of school for 2 weeks minimum, and they're going to reevaluate everything. It's a fucking mess. Do you think that they're overreacting, or do you think this is what they should be doing?
Well, I think the overreaction isn't due like, oh, you're going to get the flu. I think the overreaction is let me backtrack. The overreaction is the flu because it's not a big deal. I probably already had the coronavirus this year. No one knows. But the biggest thing is that the dispersion, if the hospitals are flooded, then the people that are having heart attacks and strokes and everything else can't get their care because those places are flooded with patients that, have the sniffles. So
fair enough.
I think that's the biggest problem we're going to have. But other than that, I mean, I can wipe my ass with my hand. I mean, I can find a towel. Anybody, you ever use the shower?
I have.
You ever use one of those nozzles where you get down in between? And, gets it really nice. It gets, woo! Feel the burn a little bit. But
fair enough.
Fair enough. Good.
Hey, if that's how you roll, that's how you roll.
Well, it needs to be clean. I don't have any toilet paper, so
I think that there hasn't been really very many locals involved with the being found as having the disease. So I think I guess they have to do it to placate to the majority. But,
sure.
I mean, it to me, it's just this. I've never seen anything like this before. This is you see this shit on movies. So for me, this is just a little crazy right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's probably crazier south of where I am. Today, my wife's work announced that they had a patient that has presumptive case of coronavirus. Well, it comes to find out the guy worked for the city up here, and he was running around through a clinic, and now everybody that was in the clinic is on the quarantine.
Yeah,
so
it's insane. This is something like you'd see in like a third world country or something like that, somewhere where like you got Sally Strother saying for 20 cents a day you could feed this kid a bowl of oatmeal. So it's just a little bit out of my element right now, but sure we'll get through it. But I mean, as far as good, that's the bad news. Good news is Kirk is finally out of the loony bin.
He is.
He went through his treatment, and he's out of that circle of talk or whatever the hell he was doing, out of the straitjacket in the padded room. And from Wednesday's show, it looks like he's coming back on Monday, and we're going to have a full slate of shows next week, which I'm freaking excited about because as much as I wanted him to take his time to get all of his therapy done and come back when he was ready, it's been fucking rough. It's been tough.
It was good to have that, the show they had the other day, Wednesday's show, and the Monday drop was pretty good. Considering my wife's dream came true, that all sports have been canceled because of this coronavirus. him dropping shows next week would be magnificent. It's something to look forward to again every day. Not like I look forward to baseball anytime soon, but it's something that breaks up the day. I think we all take sports for granted, even though I can tell you right now, if this flu was during the NFL season, they'd already have a cure for it.
Yeah,
That no doubt in my mind. They'd be up, it's cured. Don't worry about it. We're all set.
Yeah, well, I think with this is if you notice a lot of those podcasts that are above him, the sports related podcasts, even though I mean he's in the comedy section, but as far as through Barstool, a lot of the podcasts above him are sports related. And I think that this next week coming up and going forward until this settles down, this is where people that don't necessarily listen to him every day like we do are going to see his true value.
Right. And I think next week is going to be a nice showcase. They'll have the regular Mike and Steve on, and I think they'll do good. And I think it's going to be a chance to expand, given the audience probably will increase with all the downtime of sports, and there's no the fucking Masters you told me earlier the Masters got canceled.
Masters got canceled. First they were going to do it with no fans. Now they got rid of it, and that's just going to that might put him back inside there, because that's the one thing he said that he did not want canceled. I guess he was going to go there like he did last year. I don't know if he was going to go with his brothers or anything like that, but that was the one thing he said he was looking forward to this year more than anything.
The last thing I saw was yesterday that they were going to play the Players Championship down in Sawgrass with no fans, and then all of a sudden that's got canceled.
Yeah, everything's done. Everything's done. But I think honestly, I mean, he works for Barstool Sports, and I think what are they going to talk about up there? How long can you just keep repeating the same theme that, well, maybe in a few weeks they'll be back? In all honesty, they're going to run out of stuff to talk about. But that's why you need a guy like Kirk, who doesn't need anything to talk about to make something interesting.
Of course. I mean, they can't right now, all New England. Well, the only thing they have to talk about is Tom Brady going to be a free agent or not. Okay, grown man, you know what? Go wherever you'd like to go. It's fine. We're all going to survive. We're all going to survive. If he goes to Tampa Bay or Oakland, who gives a shit?
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
I was thinking about something. So, in his absence, there's been not only a lot of activity by the fans. Now, Kirk for months has been saying, "I want to get that YouTube channel active. I want people to participate. I want this thing to get going." He would subtly suggest things, and there hasn't been that many people that have jumped on it. A couple have, but not that many. And also with Mike, I think he mentioned that it took him going to the loony bin to get therapy in order for Mike to be a little bit more proactive. My question to you is, do you think if over this last 2 weeks, if Mike hadn't done like the Go for Gary, or some of the stuff that he's done a couple of trash talks. If he hadn't a lot of Periscope, if he hadn't done that, do you think that Kirk would have maybe had second thoughts about keeping him around if he wasn't as active as he was while Kirk was gone?
I mean, he could have. I think Mike saw it as an opportunity that Kirk was out to still create content, go on, trash talk with MHB, do the Periscopes and do that call. What was it? Go for Gary. There it is.
Go for Gary.
I think that's hilarious. I mean, some of the callers don't work out. Some are assholes. But for the most part, I think that's pretty hilarious. I like that. And then he messaged me about doing a book review. I think we'll give this guy wrong hand. This guy credit for thinking about book and movie reviews, even though it was Patrick. But I don't mind that. I mean, I love movies. I'm more of a music guy, I guess. But I would say, I don't know about books. I'm not one for reading. But movies, I absolutely love them. So,
well, I mean, the thing that in thinking about it, so Kirk took the time away that he needed. Absolutely needed. There was no doubt about it. He was hiding how he was feeling, and he needed to get away and go do that. But on the good side of that, even though we didn't have a show every day, there has been a ton of things that have popped up as far as from the fans that is, that has just been productive, and it's giving you something, some sort of content to listen to or to watch throughout that time. So I wanted to go through some of them. So
It's kind of like the solar planet. Like Kirk is the sun, and then you have the planets going around them. Then you have little moons going around those planets, and then you have this massive expanse of space where we haven't reached the stars yet.
sure, I don't know what the fuck you just said, but I'm gonna agree.
Okay,
Fair
good,
enough.
good. Yeah, fair enough.
So I mean, I've counted like seven shows that. So I listened to the Intel show.
Yep.
They're doing a great job. Once again, I can never say enough about when I went to Madawaska and I felt like I was the oldest guy there, and I was happy about it. Because the only way that I don't think there's a lot of 40 and 50-year-old guys looking for podcasts to listen to. I think that the younger market is where hopefully a lot of the new listeners come from.
Yeah, certainly. And I know that personally, I like Barstool Advisor. I think he's pretty good. He's funny to listen to. John from Scranton's also another one, funny to listen to. I like him a lot. So that Intel show is a decent show to watch.
I like it. I just like the fact that the younger kids, I would have never have done it when I was 20 years old or in college or anything like that, or in the Marine Corps. I would have never thought about doing that. So I give them a ton of credit for just attempting whatever they're trying to do. And it seems to be working out. Some people have a negative opinion about it, but overall, anything that is helping grow the audience, even if it's just freaking 10 people, 20 people, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, when you were in the Marines, we were probably hitting AOL online going, meaner.
I was a web TV guy.
Horror stories.
I'm sure you do. We'll save those. We'll save those for next week when you're hosting, and I'm sitting back.
Hey, we'll try. We'll do the best we can.
Yep. Next week when I'm sitting there making bad jokes all show long, that'll be me. So Mike did his Go for Gary's, which was great. I listened to the Intern show with Justin, Will, and Nick. Is it Nick? Which that show was completely hijacked by Justin having to relay messages back and forth to Mike throughout the whole thing. Still good though. Like I said, anything that I listened to was about half an hour, 40 minutes. Listen to the whole thing. Just glad to hear something.
I'll tell you, listen to some of these shows. It's content, but it's still funny. You know what I mean? Like, it's better. Again, I referenced this last week. Bob Hart, Abishola. I 10 times would rather listen to the Intern show than watch Bob Hart's Abishola. But they're paying them millions, and they're on a network television. I tuned into the Lady Minifans show the other night, and that was fantastic.
Yes, you like the Lady Minifan show.
Who doesn't like the Lady Minifan show?
So as I wanted to talk about it, so there was a little bit of an issue. First, Latino Kirk's wife came on, which was fantastic.
Scorching.
Very beautiful woman.
Oh,
I was eyeing her just like he was eyeing Betsy.
Did you get the DM pics that were sent to us?
No, I did not. I didn't get any of that.
I'll forward them to you. Don't worry about it.
But there was a little bit of a problem that took place during that show where Lauren addressed
drowning
Dee Dee.
in it. Unbelievable.
She addressed a little issue with Dee Dee, and she addressed a little issue with Dee Dee, and I guess there was something with a little misunderstanding maybe between Steve and Dee Dee, and Lauren somehow got blamed for the whole thing.
Oh, shit!
I always enjoy a little catfight. I don't know about you. I enjoy it. I'm sure at the end of the day, everything will get straightened out at the end of the day.
Sure.
I'm sure it'll work out fine. But I got to be honest with you. My favorite show, and I honestly, I could listen to this every day. There's a podcast I listen to. It's called Case Files, and it's hosted by this Australian guy. And it's a great show. I burned through all the episodes. And yesterday was the first time that I ever listened to the Aussie Minifan show. And it's fantastic. And and there was just so much stuff to listen to. Kirk said everyone should give it a listen. So I said, I'm going to give it a try. And the Menners and Jamie, they are fantastic together. I loved it.
Yeah, Menners is quite the professional at his job. especially podcasting.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listen to he does a show for cricket.
I haven't.
And for people who live in America, that is a sport somewhere. But I don't think it has a stick and a face mask.
Yeah,
But I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
It's like baseball for Australian folk, I think.
Yeah, they like when they pitch it, they do a crow hop before they throw it, and they try and like throw it at your nuts, and you got to hit it. I don't know how the point system works, but yeah, I heard. I'm actually going to give it a listen because I'm being honest. Like that's a guy right there. I don't know. For some reason, I freaking really liked it. I'm going to try and find anything that guy has done and just and give it a listen.
Yeah, I can
Plus,
see me and him are on the same level. Height-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much. What is he? 5'4". I think he's 5'4" or something like that.
5'4". I'm a little bit taller, but not by much. I'm a lot wider.
He comes off as a very angry person.
He's an angry elf. Look at you.
I have a brother of mine that's 5'4", and he would bundle you for some. You know what I mean? He just that's the way they are.
I think it's called what's it called? The Napoleon complex.
Yes,
or something
the
like
Napoleon
that?
complex.
Napoleon complex. So
yeah,
but that is by far, and I mean as far as all the podcasts, that's probably my favorite show other than the Kirk Minifan show, and I'm definitely going to definitely give that a listen.
I wouldn't discount too much for the Quantum Week one too. I do I enjoy them because they go back to a space and time. And I just wanted to say they hit on somebody put a thread on Twitter detailing the albums from 1991 to 1993 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I fell into a rabbit hole of Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and Nirvana. And just I went on for like 3 days. I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I was in this genre of music when I was in my 16 years old when it came out. It's just unbelievable.
Sure.
And
absolutely
something really tickled my fancy, would say.
Yeah. So
do you have enough shit tickets, by the way? I don't want to interrupt, but do you have
I
did you stock up?
I always have an abundance of shit paper in this place.
Well, just make sure. I went down earlier today, 0. Walgreens, 0. Dollar General, nope. Everybody's freaking out.
I don't understand how toilet paper is the most sought after object on the planet right now. I'll never understand it. It's not like people can't walk outside their house. It's kind of baffling to me that is the one thing that people are really. It's like, remember when we were kids, they had the what are those dolls? The garbage pail.
Cabbage Patch dolls.
Cabbage Patch dolls. They're like that. They're fucking killing each other over toilet paper.
Someone got stabbed in Georgia with a bottle of wine because that person wouldn't give.
Yeah,
because they give water.
It's like Black Friday.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, you have water running into your house. Like, you're not going to run out of water. I mean, I understand that water, like in Florida, sucks compared to water in Maine. But I have flowing water in my house. That's not going to be tainted. They're not going to stop flowing water. So it's just, it's a pain in the ass. Let's go back. You had another thought on the shows. You're talking about the Aussie Minifan show in are we missing a show?
Are we missing a show?
The live music one from last night.
Yes, I did not see that yet.
I watched a little bit on my phone. It's hard to hear, playing through your phone. I'm guessing if I plug my headphones in, it would seem a lot better. But it just over your phone, it just feels like someone's hitting a couple of tuna cans. Ting, 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 ting.
Now that we're in the conversation of shows, I'll be completely honest with you. When you and I talked, we decided that we were going to do whatever they gave us time for. We were going to try and listen to what Kirk's instructions have always been. Try and have just a conversation and keep it under 30 minutes or 30 minutes or less. That was our main conversation. So in watching some of the other shows, I reached out to Kirk and I said, I don't know what the fuck I am doing. Is there any advice that you can give me and TJ to try and make our show better? Now, I was hoping for the response to be something along the lines of,
Kick
you know,
TJ
you-
off.
no, you guys are doing a great job. It'll come to you as you get more experience.
Sure.
I really enjoy it or something like that. There was the response that I got was not of that. The response that I got was, you guys need a host.
What?
So I was like, okay. I take his word, whatever he says, I listen to it, I latch onto it. So he said, you guys need someone like a DEC character, like someone like DEC to host your show. And I was like, well, so does that mean that I have to go and look through all my mailings and look for the pervert list and see what neighbor next to me is a sex
Lording within 500 feet of a public bar. Sorry, man.
So does that mean that I have to go,
Unfucking real.
look through all my sexual predator lists and ask them if they're, a KMC listener? So I was thinking, I was like, pretty much the only guy we're gonna look around. You and I are definitely gonna look around.
Yes, yeah.
We have to.
Oh, yeah, and maybe we can have some tryouts. Maybe we can have a third person in.
Maybe we'll try that.
But maybe having a third person in, not a host, but maybe just a third person in, might break it up a little bit. It might make you and I a little bit better. It might make us worse, but hey, we're worth trying, right?
But you know who the first person that we're gonna ask is, right? Come on,
Rich Mandarin.
No.
Underscore
Dave Cullinane. That guy
unbelievable.
Right,
you imagine
that's
if you.
The guy. That's the guy.
Unreal.
He's the guy who brings all the energy. He's the guy. He's the guy. That's the guy that we got to bring.
Hey, he's pretty good. I seen him on the Realtor shows that he had back in the day.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I enjoyed him. I'll watch him all the time.
Maybe this place has a basketball court.
The problem with maybe it has a popcorn machine. Maybe I can play a little 9-ball. Unbelievable.
Fucking guy. He's the best.
Yeah,
he's the best.
He is, but would it be allowed? Yeah.
Well, you got to ask.
Not allowed, but just.
Well, that's why you ask before you do anything. Like, you don't do anything that would get your show canceled, or you don't do anything that'll get you excommunicated. You ask first. If it's a no, then you look around for somebody else.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to ask. We both have Steve and Mike's number. Call him at any time. And
I would absolutely enjoy Cullinane being the host. Not quite sure he could handle the both of us coming at him at the same time.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, so what? Yeah, I mean, I give it a shot.
Now, the last thing, you're in real estate.
Yes, I am.
All right, so I wanted to ask you a question. Did you watch the Murchison trial at all?
I did not. I saw Featherson tweeted out the video. I never got to, seeing it or clicking on it. I heard it was pretty uncomfortable. So
yes, so I watched the whole thing,
sure.
But I have no fucking clue about what they were talking about. So maybe you could help me out with some of the information. So,
all right.
Bob had taken the person across the street that was building a house in between two houses. From what I understand, I could be totally wrong.
So what?
And he said there was an injury to his property. What the fuck is an injury to his property?
It's a layman's term for it devalues his property because of its proximity to his. Meaning, if the density is, and that's the gift that John Featherstone tweeted out. He was worried about the density of lots, but it's within the zoning. If it's 3 acres, just for all sakes and purposes. My house lot is 0.14 acres.
Huge property.
Massive, right? 0.14. Yep. This is 3 fucking acres. I mean, it was going to be built for a disabled person. What he is arguing in court is that even though it's legal to build on, and he was saying it's would have an adverse condition to his house and being in that proximity, and the density levels would bring the values of everybody's houses down. He's arguing for something that makes no sense because you have a current zoning law that says that's a legal buildable lot. So whatever he brought to the table to begin with should have been thrown out immediately. I mean, it's not even an argument. Hey, it's built. There's places around here where they're building on a 0.10 acres. It's not even 5,000 square feet anymore. And they get these encroachments, and they get easements, and they put a house, barely can fit a 1-car garage in. They put it in all the time. So, and for all sakes, zoning doesn't even matter. Like, it changes constantly. I use it all the time, and I'll go, all right, well, you need 6,000 square feet and 100 feet of frontage.
Yeah.
And I'll look, and this person will have 50 feet of frontage, and it's a brand new house. And you're like, well, how the hell did they even do it? Yeah. It's legal, and you call zoning. Oh, we allowed them to do it. You're like, then what's zoning law even matter? So, he's saying that it devalued his house. I'm pretty sure he is.
Obviously, it did not work for him in court because
unbelievable.
It was like record timing that they tossed the case out. And I think they set like a new guideline from that, where they said that basically if you have any bullshit arguments, you can't come back.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Perfect. And good. Another blow, because what a fucking dick. Like, I can see how, like, that would be literally like 5 houses from me. If I had no houses from here to the 5 houses down, I mean, that's a long ways away. Right now, I could, spit and hit my neighbor.
And for me, I love it because I can talk about it because if it was 5 years ago when I had a lot to lose, it would be, but right now I have fucking nothing to lose. So for me, I get pure enjoyment out of watching that guy eat a bag of shit. I love it personally. So he deserves every bag of shit he can eat. Now, I just have one more thing, but is there anything that you wanted to talk about before we wrap up? Is there anything? I thought we could do a little contest. Okay. I thought that maybe if someone could call into Mike Manansky's show sometime next week and get him to say famous word, they could get the original mask of Getro Man. Is that the Vigil Getro Man mask? The Vigil Getro Man mask. All right. You know who presided over that and watched us all. The guy that just lost in court. And then it also comes with this nice limited edition belt. Yeah. It's a stretchy one. You know, six coats of spray paint on that. TJ. Six coats. You can see it. 6 coats. Look how nice and blue that is. Yeah, I think I signed that mask. Yes, the mask is signed. It's hard to see on the backside here. The mask is signed by Steve from Providence. I will add my signature to it. Okay, that's a valuable. That's a collector's item at that point. Look at that. That's going to be hanging up in your hallway. You're going to have friends coming over, and they're going to be like, "Wow, that's an interesting mask." Loaded with DNA, because obviously you haven't washed it since I signed it. So loaded with it. So all you have to do to win the mask is to call into Mike Manansky's show, Mud at Night, and get him to say the word "Getro Man." And you have to have it recorded. That's all you have to do. If you get him to say "Getro Man," I will package this up. You send me your address. I will package this up, send it to you in the mail, and you can wear it as long as you'd like. All right, fair enough. Well, there's something that I wanted to do. Sure. Something I didn't tell you about. So I really enjoy doing this. This I think about it all week. You and I talk constantly throughout the week about ideas or something that we should do. This week we added pitches to it. We want to try and make it better every time that we do our show. So you and I have both listened to Kirk since he was on Saturdays and Sundays, probably 10, going on 11 years now. Absolutely. And during that time, I mean, I've loved listening to the show. I love being a big supporter of Kirk. I used to, when they were doing their tryouts for Dennis and Callahan, I used to call up and talk to anyone that I could. And when they picked Kevin Winter, I'd say, "You're picking the wrong guy. You're picking the." Thank God that only lasted a couple of weeks. But I've always been a big supporter of Kirk, and I want to put 100% of my effort into this show. So I am therefore right now resigning as the Secretary of Agriculture, and I feel since I never pulled the gatekeeper card or any of that shit, but I think I should be able to name my successor. I am putting Phil from the Discord in my spot going forward. He's a young guy. I think he's 20 years old, 21 years old. He's in college. He is doing that Mincel Intel show. He does a lot in the Discord. A young guy like that, he's got a lot of energy. I think he's going to do a lot to grow the community, especially to the younger people.
Sure.
So I wanted to get that out of the way.
Maybe I should follow in your footsteps here. Maybe I should step down.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
All right.
Just like when Kirk came back the other day on Wednesday, and then 20 minutes after the show was done being produced, DEC says, I also suffer from mental problems. Like, listen, let everything just relax a little bit. Next week, if you want to resign, that's perfectly fine. Right now is my moment. Okay. Next week, you're more than welcome to do whatever you want to do. Fair enough?
Fair enough. All right.
So we're good.
We are good. Yeah. Well, so
right.
next week, I guess I'll be hosting. I mean,
next week you are hosting.
And I'll give you an update on the Secretary of Health and Human Services.
Yeah. And so next week, Kirk comes back. Looking forward to it. I can't wait. I'm excited about him coming back. I think it's going to be fantastic. Plus, I just can't wait to see what happens to the other shows. Like, I'm going to listen to WEI next week and see how awful it is. Put myself through that torture. Just this way, I could see when they have nothing to talk about, what they actually talk about.
Well, we have to listen. Someone's going to have to listen on Monday night, because whoever gets him to say "Getcho Man,"
someone has to bite that bullet.
Someone has to bite. Do that. Yeah, I don't know. Designated survivor. Who's it going to be? Who's going to have to listen all week long?
Probably the guy that's going to be taking us out of the show will probably make doing it, right? Have Rich Mandarin to listen to it?
I think he should. I think
all right, fair enough.
On a nightly basis.
If he's not playing with his stuffed animals, he can definitely take some time and listen to the show for us. But on that note, we would definitely want to thank Kirk, Steve, and Mike for giving us the time. Intern Justin is by far, I don't give a shit. I know he tried hanging himself with a piece of lint and it didn't quite work out, and I'm very thankful for that, because he is a fantastic producer and he does a ton of work for us, and he does everything fantastically. He makes it very easy for us.
Does
very
a great,
easy.
Great job. And I also, those guys, Mike and Kirk and Steve, for letting us on here is amazing. Listen to me mumble and try to wave my way through conversations, of which I'm not really that great at. So
you're doing your best. I'm doing my best.
That's all we can do. Do our best.
You never know. After the show post, Kirk might say, "You guys are done," and then that's it. So we'll see. But on that note, Rich, take us out of here, and we are all set. We'll see you next week.
Remember, patient zero. There it is.
Have a nice day.